Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to plunge right into complex topics and pull out those key insights just for you.
Good to be here.
So today, we're heading into well, let's call it the wild world of cryptocurrency. Picture this sort of old, established empire, right? But it's got some problems, Maybe taxes are too high, the roads are slow.
Yeah, the infrastructure's creaking a bit.
Exactly. Things just aren't working smoothly for the everyday person anymore.
That's a pretty good analogy, actually. We've definitely seen that in let's call it the ancient kingdom of crypto, especially on big networks like Ethereum.
Right.
Gas fees have just gone through the roof sometimes. Transaction speeds can feel sluggish.
Yeah.
And that friction, well, it's definitely put people off. Potential users look elsewhere for something smoother,
Yeah.
It's a real hurdle for DeFi getting wider adoption.
It really is. And into this scene steps a new player, making some pretty big claims. So today's mission, we're doing a deep dive into Little Pepe, or Little Pepe. We're going to really unpack its white paper.
Okay.
We need to look closely at its claim to be a Layer 2 blockchain and figure out what this whole pure meme magic thing is actually about in the tech world.
Is it just marketing spin, or is there something real under the hood?
That's the question. Because the white paper doesn't just call it another meme coin. Oh, no.
No, it's presented almost like royalty, like an heir to the throne.
Right. Promising a new golden meme age.
And it comes with these huge promises. Low fees, super fast, zero taxes, and importantly, no rug pulls. All built, they say, on battle-tested code.
Those are some serious claims for any new project. Definitely needs a closer look.
Absolutely. So let's start with the problem they say they're solving.
Okay.
The white paper talks about Pepe the OG's empire-facing grave threats, specifically gas fees soared, speeds lagged.
We've heard that before.
Exactly. So Little Pepe is positioned as the fix, like a shortcut to efficiency, solving those pain points.
A shortcut. But what does that mean technically? How does it work?
Right, that's the core of it. They're targeting those scalability and cost issues that plague, many layer ones.
Makes sense.
And their approach is interesting. They call themselves a Layer 2 solution.
Okay, Layer 2. So for anyone maybe not deep in the weeds, that means it's built on top of an existing blockchain, like Ethereum.
Precisely. It's like a secondary layer. The whole point is to boost the main network's capabilities, mostly making transactions way cheaper and allowing for many more of them. Scalability, basically.
So not rebuilding the whole highway, just adding a faster express lane on top.
That's a good way to put it.
But here's where Little Pepe gets interesting. They don't just say they scale Ethereum. The white paper literally says, we don't just scale Ethereum, we out-meme it.
Yeah, out-meme it. That's quite a statement.
It's definitely a marketing hook. But what does that actually mean? Like technically or economically?
Well, out-meming it seems to be more about their strategy, Viral growth, community hype, maybe a perceived value driven by culture rather than just tech specs. It suggests they're relying heavily on that meme energy, hoping the excitement and community vibe drives attention. And maybe, short-term price action.
So it's a blend.
It seems so. Technically, they list features like meme culture, ultra-low fees, security at warp speed, and fast finality quicker than Elon tweets.
Quicker than Elon tweets, okay.
When they talk about security at warp speed and fast finality, they're promising efficient transactions.
Right.
On a Layer 2, fast finality usually means confirmations happen much quicker than on Ethereum itself, often by bundling transactions and sending proofs back to Layer 1.
Got it.
The warp speed security part, well, that would depend on their specific tech, the cryptography audit stuff we'd need more detail on. Without knowing if it's, say, an optimistic rollup or a ZK rollup, these are still quite high-level claims. Needs due diligence from anyone interested.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift to the token itself, LILPEPE. The white paper calls it the native utility token.
The fuel for the ecosystem, yeah.
It says there's a total supply of 100 billion tokens, 18 decimals. And right now, it exists on Ethereum as an ERC20 token. They even give a placeholder contract address 0xxxx.
Right, so the basic token setup is there, standard stuff.
Now let's get into the economics, the tokenomics. This is often where you see the real plan, right?
Absolutely. This tells you a lot about intentions and maybe sustainability. The white paper has a tokenomics section breaking down those 100 billion tokens.
Okay, walk us through the main breakdown, and then, we need to talk about some discrepancies we found.
Will do. So the main table shows 26.5% for the pre-sale. That's 26.5 billion tokens. They call it the bigger slice of the pie for the early supporters.
Okay, 26.5% pre-sale.
Then the biggest chunk, 30%, 30 billion tokens, is for chain reserves. The justification is basically big chain needs big reserves.
Vague, but okay.
And 13.5% for staking and rewards, aimed at encouraging holding, the whole hashtag holders for life thing.
Standard and silver.
Another 10% for marketing. And they're pretty colorful here. Flood the internet, memes, videos, influencer collabs, even maybe a billboard somewhere ridiculous.
Ambitious marketing plan.
10% also goes to liquidity, promising smooth trading and, crucially, no rug pulls, just meme pulls of value.
Meme pulls of value. Interesting phrase.
And finally, 10% set aside as CEX reserves, specifically for getting listed on centralized exchanges.
Ah, okay. So that CEX reserve, 10%, that's separate from general liquidity. That sounds like they're serious about major exchange listings.
Exactly. It often means they're earmarking tokens to meet the high liquidity demands of big platforms like, say, Binance or Coinbase. It signals a real ambition for broad market access beyond just DEX.
Right. So that's the main allocation, adds up to 100%. But, and this is really important for you, the listener, this is where you need to put your critical thinking cap on.
Yeah.
Because when we look closer at other parts of the white paper, well, things didn't quite add up. We found some pretty significant differences.
You're right to flag that. It's confusing. For example, elsewhere in the document, it mentions 50% pre-sale.
50? That's almost double the 26.5% in the main table.
Exactly. And we also saw 30% liquidity mentioned somewhere else compared to the 10% in the table we just discussed.
30% liquidity is a huge difference.
And it doesn't stop there. New categories pop up that aren't even in that main breakdown. Things like 5% burn tokens, a specific 5% DEX allocation, even a 5% donation.
Wow.
Plus, marketing is listed as 5% in one spot, not the 10% from the main table.
Okay, so when you see a white paper with these kinds of basic contradictions in its own numbers, what does that tell you?
Well, honestly, it's a bit of a red flag. It could suggest a few things, maybe a lack of careful planning in their financial model, or perhaps the white paper itself is kind of a draft with bits from different versions mashed together.
Right, not exactly confidence-inspiring.
For anyone thinking of participating, it creates real uncertainty about the actual token distribution. And that affects everything. Market cap estimates, potential dilution, long-term stability. It's not just a typo, it's fundamental.
Definitely something to scrutinize. Okay, moving beyond the allocation numbers, there's another big promise. The 0% tax.
Ah, yes, the zero tax feature.
The white paper says zero tax on buys and sells. And the reason given is, quote, your baby frog shouldn't get taxed for jumping around.
Yeah, keeping the meme theme strong.
Totally. They frame it as being about financial freedom, not extortion. Sounds appealing, obviously.
Very appealing to traders.
But how does a 0% tax model actually fund anything? Like ongoing development, security, that massive marketing blitz they talked about.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's a core tension here. Zero tax is great for users, no friction. But you're right, it immediately makes you ask, where does the money come from for operations? Most projects, especially ambitious ones, use transaction taxes or treasury funds generated somehow. With 0% tax, the funding has to come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe the pre-sale funds, maybe external investment they haven't detailed. It poses a real challenge for long-term growth and security unless they have a massive initial treasury that won't run out, or some other clear income stream. That cute baby frog line is nice marketing, but the economics need to make sense.
Right. It's tough to build an empire, even a meme one, with no treasury income.
Okay, so bearing those economic questions in mind, let's look at their roadmap, the journey ahead for Little Pepe.
Yeah, they lay out a pretty ambitious path, structured in 3 phases with typically playful names.
Let's hear it.
Phase 1 is pregnancy, described as cooking in the crypto womb.
Okay.
This is the early stage stuff, launch pre-sale incoming, getting big name partnerships, building community hype, max 5s, all about creating buzz and getting the ball rolling.
Makes sense. Phase 1, build hype. What's next?
Phase 2, birth, and the tagline is, it's a boy, and he's moon ready. Oh boy. Moon ready.
This phase has some major milestones. They're aiming high, getting listed on top exchanges in Uniswap, hitting a 1 billion MCAP or bust target.
1 billion market cap or bust. That's bold.
Extremely bold. And also launching a massive marketing blitz. They're clearly not aiming small here.
Clearly not. Okay, after birth.
Finally, phase 3 is growth. The goal is to go from baby meme to blockchain beast.
Blockchain beast, okay.
This is the long-term vision. Becoming a full-fledged Layer 2 EVM Ethereum virtual machine compatible that's ultra-fast, secure, cheap.
So actually building the tech they talked about.
That's the plan. The end goal is stated as Little Pepe becomes the king, and it hits top 100 CMC on CoinMarketCap.
Wow. Aiming for a $1 billion market cap and top 100 status. That puts it in the territory of very established crypto projects.
It absolutely does. Reaching that kind of scale implies huge liquidity, widespread use, significant development. It's a massive leap for something starting as a meme coin, especially one with those tokenomics question marks we found.
Yeah, that's an incredible path they've charted. From meme presale to top-tier blockchain. For you, the listener, it's really worth thinking about the sheer difficulty and resources needed to pull that off.
It really is.
Especially given how competitive the Layer 2 space already is.
Hugely competitive. And while the roadmap is bold on market goals, the technical specifics of building that ultra-fast, secure, cheap Layer 2 EVM is much lighter on detail in the white paper compared to the market cap ambitions.
That seems to be a pattern here.
It's quite common when you blend meme culture with serious tech goals. The story, the marketing narrative, often gets more page space than the deep technical dive.
Okay. Now, for anyone listening who is actually curious about participating, the white paper does give instructions for the presale. We could probably cover this quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty standard procedure for most crypto users. You need a wallet like MetaMask or Trust Wallet.
Right.
You load it up with ETH or USDT, making sure it's on the Ethereum network, the ERC20 network.
Yeah.
Then you go to their website, littlepepe.com, and follow the steps to buy.
And getting the tokens.
They say token distribution happens after the presale concludes. You'll need to connect your wallet to their site again later and claim your Little Pepe.
Okay, standard claim process, but, and this is probably the most important takeaway for listeners, you cannot ignore the disclaimer.
Absolutely crucial. The white paper includes a very clear, comprehensive disclaimer section.
I just say.
It states very explicitly that Little Pepe, is not an investment product.
Not an investment product, okay.
Instead, it calls itself a meme coin that was made for fun and entertainment purposes.
Fun and entertainment. That's quite a statement to put right next to the $1 billion market cap goal.
Exactly. It creates this fascinating tension. It goes on to warn about the risks. There's always the chance that you can lose all of your crypto assets, and the value can be quite volatile.
Standard crypto warnings, but important.
And it advises you, do your own research and talk to a financial advisor before investing.
I wire. Always good advice. But then it gets even more interesting.
It does. It doubles down on the motivation, stating, financial gain isn't the motivation behind the Little Pepe initiative. Having fun is.
Having fun is the motivation. In the same document, outlining a path to top 100 CMC. That's confusing, to say the least. It's a real cognitive dissonance there.
It really is. And it wraps up the disclaimer with a final blunt warning. If you incur any losses, the team is not responsible for them. You should join at your own risk.
Wow.
So you have this full disclosure emphasizing personal risk, which is fair, but the overall messaging is just split. Serious tech and financial goals on one hand, just for fun on the other. You almost never see that conflict laid out so plainly.
Yeah. It really makes you wonder which narrative is the real driving force.
Exactly. Which one should you as a potential participant actually believe?
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've dived into Little Pepe. It presents itself as this dual entity, part playful meme coin, part ambitious Layer 2 blockchain hopeful. It's got big promises, efficiency, zero taxes, community powered by memes, but also a roadmap aiming for the crypto big leagues.
It's a really interesting mix. You've got attempts to solve real tech problems, scalability, fees, but wrapped in this meme culture that emphasizes fun.
While simultaneously chasing huge market cap numbers and top rankings.
And then that disclaimer saying, hey, it's not an investment, it's for fun, you could lose everything.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. How do projects like this actually navigate that tightrope walk between serious tech utility and just pure entertainment or speculation? What does it really mean when a project says its main goal is having fun, but then lays out an aggressive plan for massive growth?
Yeah, what are the implications of that?
And maybe the bigger question, what actual long-term value does meme magic bring to a decentralized network?
Yeah.
How should you weigh that cultural element against the tech, the tokenomics, those discrepancies we found when you're looking at new crypto projects?
It's definitely a complex equation. Technology, community, hype, actual economics. It's all tangled together.
Untangling those threads, understanding the mechanics or maybe the lack of clear mechanics, that's really key to forming your own view in this constantly changing crypto world.
Couldn't agree more. You really have to dig deep yourself.
Something to think about on your own deep dive. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.